Welcome to the Prepped and Polished podcast, the podcast that empowers you to take control of your education. Featuring weekly interviews with influencers in the world of education, as well as tutoring tips, lessons, and updates. And now, here's your host, Alexis Avila.
Hi everyone, welcome to another Tutoring Tips episode of the Prepped and Polished podcast. Alexis Avila, Prepped and Polished. Please be sure to check out our website, preppedandpolished.com, for more info. And while you're there, sign up for our free tips newsletter. It comes out monthly. You can join our community, preppedandpolished.com, Facebook, Twitter. Just search Prepped and Polished, you'll get there. You can submit a question during or after the show, radio at preppedandpolished.com. We love hearing from you. Let's get right to it. So many grammar tips that are tested. Out of all the grammar tips that are tested on these tests, these SAT and ACT tests, one that many students trip up on is using the comparative versus superlative form adjectives. So let's get this straight once and for all. Let's take an example. Let's just pretend you have a car and it's fast. It's on the lot. So you say my car is fast. That's one object. Now, if you bring two objects on the lot, you either say my car is faster, or you can say my car is more fast. That's the comparative form. When three or more cars on the lot, you don't say faster. What you do is you say my car is the fastest car among all the cars on the lot. Or you can say it's the most fast. So just to recap, if you have two objects, you use the comparative form, and that is faster. ER usually, or you say more plus the adjectives like more fast. If you have three or more objects, you use EST usually, or you say most fast. Okay, now there's some adjectives that belong in their own absolute category where you never use the superlative or comparative. For example, the word dead. Dead is a very finite definitive term, so you can't have someone who's more or most dead than somebody else. So never use these absolute adjectives, comparative and superlative forms for that special category. All right, so that is our show for today. This wraps up number 99. Don't confuse comparative versus superlative adjectives on the SAT and ACT. We're getting close. Our next episode will be number 100, and I promise it will not be a disappointment. It will be an influencer in the world of education speaking to you and inspiring you. Our century mark comes up next, episode number 100. Be on the lookout, coming out soon. Remember to access all of our podcast episodes. Go to preppedandpolished.com/podcast. Thanks for joining us on the Prepped and Polished podcast. Now go out there and take control of your education.
You've been listening to the Prepped and Polished podcast. For more information, check out preppedandpolished.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for listening. Class dismissed.